Trump lashes out at Puerto Rico San Juan Mayo over hurricane response as throwing paper towels. President Donald Trump launched an attack on San Juan Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz on Saturday for criticizing the White House's hurricane relief efforts in Puerto Rico, accusing her of poor leadership and suggesting that the island's residents are not doing enough to help themselves. The mayor of San Juan, who was very complimentary only a few days ago, has now been told by the Democrats that you must be nasty to Trump, the president tweeted from his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey, where he is spending the weekend. Such poor leadership ability by the mayor of San Juan, and others in Puerto Rico, who are not able to get their workers to help. They want everything to be done for them when it should be a community effort. The spectacle of Trump's comments slamming Cruz and others on their own response efforts as Puerto Rico struggles to deal with disaster that left millions without power and with limited access to water, and as Trump comes under fire for what some have called a slow federal reaction, sparked a firestorm of reaction online, including from the creator of the Broadway musical Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who said that Trump was going straight to hell. "You're going straight to hell, at real Donald Trump. No long lines for you," tweeted Miranda, who was of Puerto Rican descent. "Someone will say, right this way, sir." They'll clear a path. Later Saturday, Vice President Mike Pence defended the president's remarks in an interview with Orlando television station WKMG. "Well, it is frustrating. I expect, to millions of Americans to hear rhetoric coming out from some in Puerto Rico, particularly the mayor of San Juan, instead of focusing on results," Pence said. Pence said he learned that while our joint field operation at the convention center in San Juan has more than 1,000 personnel working out in a football field environment, the mayor of San Juan has only visited our joint field operation once. He added that he would encourage her to come alongside Puerto Rico Gov. Ricardo Roslo and other officials who are focusing on continuing to make the steady progress that we are making in Puerto Rico. In the series of early morning tweets, Trump also lauded the federal government's response on the island, which is still grappling with the devastating impact of Hurricane Maria. The president said that the 10,000 federal workers there are doing a fantastic job. The military and first responders, despite no electric, roads, phones etc., have done an amazing job, he wrote. Puerto Rico was totally destroyed. Trump's early praise of relief efforts, however, does not appear to match the reality on the ground. Puerto Rico, which is home to 3.4 million people, is facing a humanitarian crisis, and many of its people remain without power and water. 16 people have died, according to government officials, but that number could well rise with the full range of devastation not yet known. In an interview with MSNBC, Yulín Cruz said she wasn't making nasty comments about Trump in remarks earlier this week criticizing the administration's statements lauding the response, adding that her only goal was to save lives. "I was asking for help," she said. "I wasn't saying anything nasty about the president." Trump's comments come ahead of a planned visit to Puerto Rico on Tuesday. The president is scheduled to speak with Federal Emergency Management Agency Administrator Brock Long, Roslo and other Puerto Rican officials later Saturday. Roslo said Saturday morning that his previous conversations with Trump didn't square up with the president's tweets and that Trump had reiterated his commitment with this effort. "I do reiterate that the only way for this to work is for us to have collaboration," Roslo said. "And let me stress this. I am committed to collaborating with everybody. This is a point where we can't look at small differences. We can't establish differences based on politics." While Trump and other administration officials have repeatedly lauded the federal government's response to Maria, some have said that the administration has moved more slowly than it did in responding to the recent storms that battered Texas and Florida. Other critics have drawn comparisons to President George W. Bush's handling of Hurricane Katrina in 2005, particularly given the race and class of most victims in both disasters. Katrina, of course, became a political disaster for the Bush presidency. When asked for his reaction to President Trump's tweets, Russell Honor, the retired general appointed by Bush to take over the federal response to Katrina in 2005, said he had none. "I have no reaction. The mayor's living on a cot, and I hope the president has a good day of golf," He told CNN. Earlier this week, Anna told CNN that the president's response to Maria shows that he doesn't care about the poor or people of color. The president has shown again he don't give a damn about poor people, Anna told CNN's Aaron Burnett. He doesn't give a damn about people of color. And the Saab that rides around in Air Force One is denying services needed by the people of Puerto Rico. I hate to say it that way, but there's no other way to say it. In his interview Saturday with WKMG, Pence took issue with Anna's characterization. Well, I would suggest, with great respect to that retired general and respect for the work he's done in the past, that the Department of Defense, 16 different Navy ships in the region, the USS Comfort will be there in a matter of days, Pence said. I was able to inform Governor Roslow the USS Wasp will be arriving with 16 helicopters tomorrow. We have literally 10,000 federal officials on the ground, 4,500 National Guard have been there from early on, more are on the way. A good news story. Thursday, Acting Homeland Security Secretary Elaine Duke also stirred controversy after she told reporters she was very satisfied with the federal response since Maria made landfall, calling it a good news story. I know it is really a good news story in terms of our ability to reach people and the limited number of deaths that have taken place in such a devastating hurricane, Duke said. That prompted a sharp retort from San Juan's mayor in a CNN interview. Damn it. This is not a good news story, Mayor Cruz said. This is a people are dying story. This is a life or death story. There's a truckload of stuff that cannot be taken to people story. This is a story of a devastation that continues to worsen. Dan Scavino, the White House social media director, tweeted on Saturday that Yulín Cruz has been hating on it will Donald Trump long before he was our president. Democratic lawmakers react. Trump's comments were criticized by a number of Democrats, who took issue with the president's rhetoric in the middle of a domestic disaster. Rep. Al Green of Texas told CNN's Ana Cabrera on Saturday afternoon that he thought Trump's comments showed he cared less about Puerto Rico because it was unimportant to his re-election, and added that he saw racial undertones in the president's remarks. If they were all Anglos, I don't believe the president would have the attitude that he has, because you don't hear that kind of dog whistle of people not wanting to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, when the people are Anglos, Green said. That's something reserved for people of color. Sen. Ed Markey of Massachusetts, meanwhile, called for an apology from the president. First thing Trump should do on Tuesday when he visits Puerto Rico for the first time since Hurricane Maria devastated the island is apologize, Markey tweeted. Sen. Kirsten Gillibrand of New York called Trump's remarks offensive. When millions in Puerto Rico are in crisis, the president should be better than this, she tweeted. Sen. Bob Menendez, a New Jersey Democrat facing trial for federal bribery charges, tweeted that Trump should be doing more to help the territory, suggesting his response might be slower because Puerto Rico has no electoral votes. I know Puerto Rico doesn't get electoral college votes, Mr. President, but there are real Americans there suffering. Time to do more, he wrote. In another tweet, Menendez declared the situation in Puerto Rico worse than Hurricane Katrina. Democratic Sen. Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts said Puerto Rico was in crisis and Trump should stop playing politics with their lives. The definition of poor leadership is sitting at your golf club while millions of U.S. citizens beg for your help. At Real Donald Trump, she tweeted. Don Bear, a Democratic representative from Virginia, noted in a series of tweets that the president had ignored the people of Puerto Rico for days, instead picking a fight with athletes while a humanitarian crisis grew in Puerto Rico. You focused on aid efforts in TX and FL but ignored Puerto Rico. Now you attack San Juan's mayor for saying people are dying, they are dying, he wrote. Amid the criticisms, Trump took to Twitter later Saturday afternoon to praise several Puerto Rican officials, including Roslow, U.S. Virgin Islands Gov. Kenneth Mapp, an independent, and Republican Congresswoman Jennifer Gonzalez-Colon. Fake news critics are working overtime. but we're getting great marks from the people that truly matter. PR is strong, Trump wrote. Trump continued to fault the news coverage of his administration's response and tweets Saturday night. Because of fake news, my people are not getting the credit they deserve for doing a great job, he wrote. As seen here, they are all doing a great job. At a news conference Saturday afternoon, Mapp said the vice president and his wife, Karen Pence, would arrive in Croy on Friday to assess the hurricane damage. He also said Trump did not rule out a visit to the territory during a phone call Saturday, but the president was trying to visit both Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands in one day, which pose logistical challenges. Administration update: FEMA said in a news release Saturday that urban search and rescue teams, working alongside local law enforcement, have scoured the island and rescued 843 people. In addition, 11 highways have been cleared, 70% of ports and 60% of gas stations are operating, and half of the grocery and big box stores are open, the release said. While the release said power has been restored to 59 hospitals, FEMA official Alejandro de la Campa told reporters only 5% of electricity had been restored in the island as of Saturday. The president of the Puerto Rico Aqueduct and Sewer Authority, Eli Diaz-Atienzo, gave a breakdown of the water service restoration effort to San Juan radio station YPR, saying water is running to about 55% of the city. Clarification: this story has been updated throughout to reflect the full last name of San Juan Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz. Washington: President Trump lashed out at the mayor of San Juan on Saturday for criticizing his administration's efforts to help Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria, accusing her of poor leadership and implying that the people of the devastated island were not doing enough to help themselves. As emergency workers and troops struggled to restore basic services in a Commonwealth with no electricity and limited fuel and water, Mr. Trump spent the day at his New Jersey golf club, blasting out Twitter messages defending his response to the storm and repeatedly assailing the capital's mayor, Carmen Yulín Cruz, and the news media. The mayor of San Juan, who was very complimentary only a few days ago, has now been told by the Democrats that you must be nasty to Trump, the president wrote on Twitter. Such poor leadership ability by the mayor of San Juan, and others in Puerto Rico, who are not able to get their workers to help. Mr. Trump said the people of Puerto Rico should not depend entirely on the federal government. They want everything to be done for them when it should be a community effort, he wrote. 10,000 federal workers now on island doing a fantastic job. The military and first responders, despite no electric, roads, phones etc., have done an amazing job. Puerto Rico was totally destroyed. The president's stream of Twitter bolts appeared repeatedly over the course of 12 hours and touched off a furious day of recriminations that fueled questions about his leadership during the crisis. Although Mr. Trump earned generally high marks for his handling of hurricanes that struck Texas and Florida recently, he has been sharply criticized for being slow to sense the magnitude of the damage in Puerto Rico, an American territory, and project urgency about helping. Continue reading the main story. Related coverage. One day in the life of battered Puerto Rico. September 30, 2017. San Juan mayor rebukes Trump administration for rosy comments on relief efforts. September 29, 2017. San Juan mayor on hurricane response: this is not a good news story. September 29, 2017. Opinion op-ed contributors: don't let Puerto Rico fall into an economic abyss. September 29, 2017. Lin-Manuel Miranda says Trump is going straight to hell. September 30, 2017. Recent comments: stoned 2 days ago. The mayor should not have criticized Trump. It takes time to get the help she wanted. There was nothing he could do that would get the aid to Baroque. 2 days ago, Dr. Gupta of TV fame was able to obtain medical supplies for a PR hospital in 2 hours, because those supplies are on the island, ready to be. Dan 88. 2 days ago, Trump with no poor leadership. See all comments. He has explained that the challenges are different because Puerto Rico is an island surrounded by water, big water, ocean water, as he put it on Friday, but in recent days he has stepped up his public statements and dispatched a three-star general to take over the response. Mr. Trump's aggressive Twitter messages on Saturday were in keeping with how he has acted during other moments of crisis, notably when he assailed the mayor of London, who was Muslim, after a terrorist attack, asserting that he did not take the threat seriously enough. In the case of Miss Cruz, Mr. Trump took her outright as a personal assault on him. While other presidents generally ignore most of the criticism they invariably attract, Mr. Trump is not one to let anything go unanswered. In one of his books, he titled the chapter Revenge, writing that when someone crosses you, my advice is get even. If you do not get even, you are just a schmuck. His attack on Miss Cruz on Saturday was amplified by a top aide, who retweeted a message she had written during last year's campaign endorsing Hillary Clinton over Mr. Trump. At Real Donald Trump Hater, the mayor of San Juan, is the perfect example of an opportunistic politician, wrote Dan Scavino Jr., the president's social media director. Responding to Mr. Trump's tweets on Saturday, Ms. Cruz said she would not be distracted by small comments and denied that she was attacking the president at the behest of the Democrats. Actually, I was asking for help, she told MSNBC. I wasn't saying anything nasty about the president. She pointed to comments made on Friday by Lieutenant Gen. Jeffrey Buchanan, who was leading the response effort and who said on Friday that he did not have enough troops and equipment. So who am I? Ms. Cruz asked. I'm just a little mayor from the capital city of San Juan. This is a three-star general telling the world that right now he does not have the appropriate means and tools to take care of the situation. The attacks on the mayor generated a backlash from celebrities and others who noted that the president was spending the weekend in the comfort of his golf club while the mayor was struggling to help her constituents on an island with no power. She has been working 24/7. Lin-Manuel Miranda, the creator of Hamilton, the hit Broadway musical, wrote on Twitter, "You have been golfing. You're going straight to hell." Fastest golf cart you ever took. Lady Gaga, who has twice as many Twitter followers as the president, said that it's clear where the poor leadership lies at Real Donald Trump and added that he was not helping PR because of the electoral votes you need to be re-elected. As an American territory, Puerto Rico does not have votes in the Electoral College, which determines the presidency every 4 years. Russell L. Honor, the retired lieutenant general who took over the response to Hurricane Katrina in 2005 after an initially inadequate federal effort, also noted the president's weekend retreat. The mayor's living on a cot, and I hope the president has a good day at golf, he said on CNN. The president was out of sight on Saturday, secluded at his club in Bedminster, N.J. miles away from the pool of journalists who follow him. Aides would not say whether he went golfing, although they said he had telephone calls scheduled with Puerto Rico's governor and the head of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Ms. Cruz became a powerful voice of grievance on Friday when she went on television to plead for help and reject assertions by the Trump administration about how well it was responding. She was incensed by comments made by Lane Duke, the acting Secretary of Homeland Security, who had said on Thursday that it was really a good news story in terms of our ability to reach people and the limited number of deaths from the hurricane. Damn it, this is not a good news story, Ms. Cruz said on CNN. This is a people are dying story. This is a life or death story. There's a truckload of stuff that cannot be taken to people story. This is a story of a devastation that continues to worsen. Ms. Duke traveled to Puerto Rico on Friday and tried to smooth things over, agreeing that the situation on the ground was not satisfactory. General Buchanan, who arrived in Puerto Rico on Thursday to take over the hurricane response, said on Friday that he needed more personnel and resources. The answer is no, it's not enough and we're bringing more in, he said on CNN. Ms. Cruz, a member of the popular Democratic Party, which advocates maintaining the island's Commonwealth status, was unmollified and went back on CNN on Friday night to continue her pleas for help wearing a black t-shirt that said, "Help us, we are dying. We're dying here," she told the anchor Anderson Cooper. "We truly are dying here, and I keep saying it, sois. If anyone can hear us, if Mr. Trump can hear us, let's just get it over with and get the ball rolling. At least 16 people have died in Puerto Rico in the aftermath of Maria, which came soon after Hurricane Irma. Although that number could rise, the island has a population of 3.4 million people, roughly the same as Connecticut. In addition to appointing General Buchanan, the Trump administration has waived the Jones Act, a maritime commerce statute that was seen as a hindrance to relief efforts. Mr. Trump plans to travel to Puerto Rico with his wife, Melania, on Tuesday, nearly 2 weeks after the hurricane slammed into the island, but the earliest he said he could get there without diverting resources from the rescue and recovery efforts. He said on Saturday that he would also hopefully be able to stop at the U.S. Virgin Islands, where 100,000 American citizens are also struggling to recover from storm devastation. The president dismissed complaints about the federal response as distortions from the news media. Fake news. CNN and NBC are going out of their way to disparage our great first responders as a way to get Trump, he wrote. Not fair to FR or effort. Hours later, he added, results of recovery efforts will speak much louder than complaints by San Juan Mayor. Doing everything we can to help great people of PR.